So, images of Trump migrants' flights to Guantanamo.
There's a lot of space to accommodate a lot of people, yeah, so we're going to use it.
President Trump planning to expand Guantanamo Bay to hold up to 30,000 illegal immigrants. This as the first flight of detained migrants landed there yesterday. A senior defense official tells Fox the military jet had 10 migrants on.
Look at them women and children. Oh, they're not women and children. I'm sorry.
board, and ICE agents are assigned to guard them at the detention facility. Senate Republican Conference Chair Tom Cotton with reaction coming up. Meantime, Texas is reporting that daily encounters at the border are dropping sharply. Brooke Taylor has the new numbers from Dallas. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Dana. Yeah, these are the lowest numbers we have seen in years. And when you compare this to what we saw during Biden's final week in office, well, it's even more striking. So on Monday, Texas DPS released.
Look at that. Daily illegal borders across them. Southern border, 446. It was in El Paso, 98. Del Rio, 58. That's all in the Texas, border to Mexico. Ding, ding, ding. What do you know? Whatever happened to that border czar in, during the Biden's era? What was her name? Yeah, Harris. This is what it looks like when you're doing your job. When someone's doing a job, there's a huge significant differences between Tom Homan and the Cackle McGrackle.
Releasing these new numbers, they had 446 encounters across the southern border, just 98 in El Paso, 58 in the Del Rio sector. During Biden's final week, the daily encounters ranged from 1,200 to 1,400. Well, this decline comes as the first group of Mexican National Guard troops arrived at the border here. Mexico's president has pledged to send a total of 10,000 troops, all in exchange for delaying tariffs. Removal flights, they are also ramping up. Border Patrol says they took the...
See, that is what negotiations look like. That should be negotiating look like with other countries. That's what Trump is really good at. The art of the deal. Go read it.
First military plane filled with illegal migrants to India. This marks the longest deportation flight yet using these military C-17s.
We're doing very well with respect to other countries really behaving on taking the criminals that they sent into our country, and we're getting them out. These are some of the worst people on earth.
As security measures strengthen, well, cartel operations, they are definitely feeling the heat. Just this week, DPS and Border Patrol agents arrested this smuggler who they say has cartel connections. He was trying to transport 50 pounds of narcotics.
Ooh, look at that. Man, that is packed. Man.
Across the Rio Grande.
With cartel ties.
And when asked about whether Border Patrol agents and other soldiers could be hurt by cartel members because of this added security, Border Czar Tom Homan says they have the capability to wipe the cartel off the face of the earth. As to anyone who thinks of doing that, he says, I would not try that. Dana.
All right, Brooke Taylor, thank you so much. So we have seen a lot of combined agency efforts in some of these confrontations, and we are watching this play out right now. This is DEA helping DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, serving search warrants at multiple locations in Denver, Colorado. Also, we saw some video from the early hours when it was still dark out of similar operations going on in Denver, similar to what we've seen across the country. We'll keep a close eye on it. And we will continue to report on these developments. But
what was that?
A lot of action with these agencies across the country, and this focused in Denver.
Well, was that a flash bang? Why would he throw that right in front of that dude? Or was this to create a smoke? I don't know.
The first flights from the United States to Guantanamo Bay with illegal migrants are underway. President Trump is not messing around.
The Trump administration is starting the process of expanding the migrant detention center at Guantanamo Bay. Let's bring in Senator Tom Cotton, Republican of Arkansas and chair of the Intel Committee.
This is President Trump on Guantanamo and why he's using it. Watch.
It all makes sense.
On Guantanamo Bay, is there enough space there to accommodate?
There's a lot of space to accommodate a lot of people, yeah, so we're going to use it.
Can you talk a little bit
We have it.
about
It's
why?
already up. We have it for nothing. But we can do less expensive and even more secure. We've had other countries come to us saying we would love to do that. We would love to take your criminals and we'll maintain that. We'll, we'll be their jail.
I think it's a lot cheaper just to. Okay, I mean if you house them like in Gitmo, you still. You still got to feed them though. That's what I'm saying. If it's really bad criminals, you got to. I mean, I hope he can do this, but send them to have their country, whatever. If they're going to like Mexico, Honduras, India, whatever, have them take care of their criminals, house them there. But then again, I think it's kind of a, they are thankful, those criminals, are going to Gitmo because they have, I guess it's roomier. That's what the cell, and they get to eat 3 times a day, and all that. They still be protected under the law of the United States. So if they go back to, like, let's say Honduras, they'll probably go into, or El Salvador for that matter. El Salvador, I mean, they don't, if you're a criminal, a violent criminal, you can't just flex your muscle in El Salvador, man. But I don't know, but Trump, he knows better.
Only talking for the most severe cases.
He knows the best.
Your take on what's going on down there at Gitmo?
Well, Dana, President Trump is right. Guantanamo Bay is a good place to put these illegal migrants. It's much safer than an American base. It's a large base. I've been there. It has a very modest American presence there, unlike bases here in America where we have large families and training grounds and so forth. There is a detention center in Guantanamo Bay going back to at least the 1990s under Bill Clinton, with migrants there pending repatriation to their own countries. You don't have to worry about losing control of them or even escaping the base, as happened in Arkansas in 1980 at Fort Chaffee when Bill Clinton was the governor, and we put the aerial boat lift people there. So I think it's a very smart idea to put some of these migrants who are pending repatriation to their home countries in Guantanamo Bay. It's kind of like what Secretary Rubio discussed with President Bukele of El Salvador over the weekend. Yeah. He's very pro-American. He's been supportive of the United States. He's willing to take foreign nationals as well, pending repatriation. I think that's something we should.
That is something this criminals, violent criminals going to El Salvador are probably pleading. They're going to be pleading, please don't take me to El Salvador.
Consider as well, just an example of the
you don't want to go to prison there.
Conventional thinking that the president has brought back to Washington to serve American interests, to get dangerous and violent migrants off of our streets and back to their home countries.
We just saw some of that possibly happening in Denver. Also wanted to ask you about Army recruiting. This has been an issue that's been a real concern for America. The Post from the U.S. Army said that they've had their most productive December in 15 years by enlisting 346 soldiers daily into the world's greatest army. Our recruiters have one of the toughest jobs, inspiring the next generation to serve.
Because, throughout like Obama's and Biden's, they've taken this masculinity out of, the army, being a soldier, for, hiring all this, unstable mentally people that lead, the army. Now that's going to be gone. Now is, the masculinity is they're bringing it back. They're bringing it back. That is why.
Congratulations and keep up the great work. What do you put that down to?
Well, Dana, I don't think it's rocket science. It's the Trump effect. You had some number of young men and women who didn't want to join the Army over the last 4 years under Joe Biden, Christine Wormuth, the former Secretary of the Army, when they thought it was more focused on wokeness and DEI and climate change. That's not why young men and women join our military. They do it because they love the country. They want to serve in uniform. They want to serve a cause greater than themselves next to battle buddies who are going to be friends for a lifetime. That's clearly what's on the mind of these new recruits who are joining since President Trump won re-election, and I believe that it's going to continue to improve in the future. Now, that's not the only reason.
Should.
You know, there are still issues with getting kids medical waivers if they need it for a long-ago injury, or just processing them through the initial entry system more quickly, and the Army can do a better job of that, and I've discussed that with Pete Hegseth and Dan Driscoll, the incoming Secretary of the Army. But I think these numbers put paid to the idea that it was some overall economic condition or competitive pay with the private sector. It was that a lot of young people didn't want to join the Army.
We're back, baby.
Joe Biden was the Commander-in-Chief.
Yeah, Senator Tom Cotton, thank you so much, and I know that you're busy, as you said before we started. We haven't even gotten halfway through Wednesday yet. Thank you, sir.
No, and, you know, first 100 days, this is only, like a month or so? Let's go. Be back.